Hi there and welcome to today's vlog. It's really good to have you with me. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I want to talk about two people who have inspired me. The first, a man known certainly in the English speaking world as Brother Andrew. He was from the Netherlands originally, and he was a follower of Christ, and he had a passion to help and encourage and support Christians in parts of the world where it was tough to be a follower of Christ. And his initial ministry was in Eastern Europe behind what was known as the Iron Curtain. And so he would smuggle Bibles and other Christian literature into Eastern Europe. It was dangerous in some ways, because if he was discovered, he'd be in trouble. But that's what he did. He felt God was calling him to do that. And so he was able to take Bibles and other literature in various ways into Eastern Europe and deliver that to Christians there who didn't have access to Bibles and other material. And I think his first book was called God's Smuggler. He became known as God's Smuggler. It's a fantastic book. There's still copies available secondhand, or maybe even new editions. Well worth reading and being inspired by. And when the Iron Curtain fell, when the Berlin Wall came down, things were much more open in Eastern Europe, and Christians were able to have access to Bibles. He turned his attention to other parts of the world, like China, like some of the Muslim countries, where it's not easy to get hold of Christian literature, to get hold of Bibles. It's not easy to be a follower of Christ. And he formed an organisation called Open Doors, which is still very much active and working to support Christians, where to be a follower of Christ is tough. So that's part of his legacy. He was a wonderful gentleman. He died only a few days ago. I was sad to hear that, but giving thanks for his life. And I remember that quite a few years ago now, I was leading a pilgrimage to the Holy Land, and we happened to be visiting the Bethlehem Bible College, and went in there, had a talk with the leaders of the Bethlehem Bible College. We were invited to stay for lunch, and lo and behold, Brother Andrew was there at the same time. So I was able to sit and have lunch with Brother Andrew, and it was a fantastic opportunity. I'll never forget that. And he is a man who really inspired me, does inspire me, by his dedication to Jesus and his desire to share what he had with those who are going through tough times. Second person I want to mention is a wonderful lady called Rachel. Rachel is a friend of ours. For a number of years now, she's been working in Madagascar, and her desire is to help and support people there and to share the love of Jesus with them. And she was, as we met together and shared a coffee together. Well, we didn't share the same coffee, we each had a coffee. Sue and I went to meet Rachel with her dad and another friend, Richard. And Rachel was telling us about her experiences out there in Madagascar, in the part where she works. It's a very, very poor part, and so she helps families and children especially. A lot of them don't have access to education, so she's helping, supporting them, enabling them to have education by paying their school fees, sometimes providing shoes, which many of the children don't have, or clothing, sometimes paying for hospital treatment. And most of all, her burning passion is to share the love of Jesus with them. And it's great to read her regular reports on Facebook. She's actually over in this country for a short break, and then she'll be going back to Madagascar. And she was telling us about what God has been doing through their ministry. God sometimes miraculously providing for them so that they're able to share that with the people there. Some don't even have homes, or set in an adequate home. So in lots of ways, Rachel and those who work with her are sharing the great love of Jesus for the people in that part of Madagascar. And it's just wonderful. And Rachel was so filled with that sense of God's presence and God's love that she was a real inspiration to us as we sat and listened to her and as we think about the work she's doing. So that's just two people who inspire me, certainly. And it's great to hear how God can use ordinary people in extraordinary ways. And that includes, amazingly, me and you. So if we just place ourselves into God's hands, there's no telling what he will do with us. God uses ordinary people in extraordinary ways. May we be an inspiration to others. So God bless you. Thank you so much for listening today.